Hey, what's up, everybody? Rene Rodriguez here with the Long Story Longer podcast. So this week's guest is Chef Enrique Lozano, straight out of Socorro, Texas. He's a great culinary icon here in El Paso, Texas, Socorro, and in the near future, San Elizario, Texas. He's a James Beard Award nominee, so that tells you how badass of a chef he is, right? But also he's contended in two of Food Network's competition cooking shows, beat Bobby Flay and Chopped. He was the final contender that went up against Bobby, and he's a Chopped champion, so he's got an amazing story to tell, so tune into this episode for that. Very honored to have had him take time out of his busy schedule to join Adrian and myself in our little podcast studio. Such a great dude, such a humble dude, and Chef, thank you, man. We appreciate and love you, bro. This podcast is brought to you by artlabcandy.com. That's a company formed by my buddies Alicia Quesada and Amado Bustos. Amado is one of my art school buddies that I met when I attended art school in Tempe, Arizona. So Art Lab Candy is a home for a bunch of original artwork as far as stickers, t-shirts, shot glasses, and a bunch of that stuff. A plethora of things, right? So artlabcandy.com is also, just in time for Halloween, the original home and the original artist, Alicia Quesada, behind There's Some Horrors in This House. So that piece of artwork is Alicia's original piece of artwork that's often emulated. A lot of people copy it, and you'll find it on Etsy, you'll find it on Google Shopping, you'll find it everywhere online. People loved her image so much that they copied it and they sell it as their own. Nah, man, buy it here directly from the source if you can, just in time for Halloween. So essentially it's some ghosts in a graveyard with the tombstones and everything, and they're twerking. It's a great image. They've got it on shot glasses. They've got it on t-shirts and a bunch of other things. So yeah, man, show some support and buy it from the actual source. I've actually seen somebody that went to high school with us. I won't say any names. She posted some of the copycat artwork on her Facebook some time ago. She bought one of the copies, and I was like, I didn't say anything. It is what it is. But hey, man, again, artlabcandy.com, the original home and the original artist behind There's Some Horrors in This House. So also available on artlabcandy.com is my artwork. They've got stickers with my Ninja Turtle drawing. So it's essentially an Ed Big Daddy Ross style Ninja Turtle. I've drawn all four of them with their color and their weapon of choice on the turtle van. All hot rod looking with the eyes popping out, whatever. So you could buy the individual stickers, whoever your favorite turtle is, or you could buy the set of four. Amado came up with a clever name, what Shredder used to call them, Turtle Soup. Available at artlabcandy.com. So reach out to Amado or Alicia at artlabcandy.com for all your original art, sticker, and so much more needs. This podcast is also brought to you by Darkside Studios, the studio that's owned by my producer, Anthony Gonzalez. So if you've got any music that you want to record and you want a professional touch to your music, reach out to Anthony or Darkside Studios to book your session. Anthony is also the bassist in our latest track that's going to come out here pretty soon for One Star Day. I was going to play bass on that song, and I approached the bass guitar like a regular guitar, and it was too busy, and Anthony was like, no, dude, check this out, do this instead, and blah, 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 blah. But with his advice, he did such a good job playing bass that I was like, dude, you handle it, you're going to play bass on this song. And it was all for the better. He did a great job on that song. So look forward to that song. I'm supposed to go lay down vocals here pretty soon. So yeah, look forward to that. Also, out of Darkside Studios, look up Glorious, the band. They've released their new track, Lost in the Virus, available on all streaming platforms and on YouTube. Again, that's Glorious, the band, and their song is called Lost in the Virus, their latest track. So stream everything Glorious on most streaming platforms and on YouTube. Thanks for the support. So again, this was a great episode. Thank you guys for tuning in. So please don't forget to like the video, comment on it, and share it. It means the world to us. We love and respect all of you as always. So stay tuned, man. It's a great one. Take it easy. What's up, everybody? This is Rene Rodriguez with a Long Story Longer podcast. Very excited to have today's guest with us today. Very impressed with all of his winning in life, for sure. You know, you've done a lot of cool stuff so far. You're 32 years old, and you've got plenty of more life ahead of you to keep on kicking ass, bro. Straight out of El Paso, Texas, but more precisely straight out of Socorro, Texas, from Soco Loco, Chef Enrique Lozano. Yeah, dude. Thanks for making it, man. I was telling you when we were outside in my kitchen, touching base with you and getting familiar with you, was that I'm into everything Food Network, everything Food TV, everything that Gordon Ramsay's on, Anthony Bourdain, Andrew Zimmern, all these shows. I'm really into these shows. Chopped, yeah, for sure. You know, I watch everything from the barbecue competitions, everything competition with food. I'm all in, and you've been a big part of that. That's very impressive, bro.
Yeah, no, it's still like a dream, man. You know, sometimes I'm like cooking and like just even at home, and I'm like, oh shit, I really want Chopped. That's crazy, you know. So, no,
so I have yet to watch that episode, bro, because I was looking for it on Discovery Plus, but it's not on there yet.
Yeah, no, I think what they do is like once the whole season's there,
right?
Like, and then a couple times, then they release the season. Like, I think they're like back like 2 seasons, and they're like live 2 seasons ahead. So maybe, I don't know, maybe soon it'll come out like where you can just look it up. But
I did watch the Beat Bobby Flay one, bro.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was great, bro. Now this is where I've got to give you my props, bro, because not only were you on there, you didn't win, but here's the cool thing, bro. You had Bobby sweating.
Oh, yeah.
And at the end, he claims the victory, right? But at the end, he shakes your hand and he says he wants you back.
Yeah.
So that's like, hell yeah, man. That's very impressive. And again, being that you're out of Socorro, man, you know, that's...
Yeah.
Makes me proud, man.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh, yeah, and I honestly, I didn't think they were going to air that because it felt very, very personal when he told me that he wanted me back. But then I guess they aired it. But yeah, it was just like, he just looked over and he was like, hey, man. He was like, do you have any more recipes? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, like, I want you back. I was like, oh, okay. So
yeah, so it goes back to that old saying where iron sharpens iron. He saw something in you that was like I said earlier, it made him sweat.
Yeah.
You know, and...
No, and it's curious because obviously with big productions like that, it takes a while for the episode to come out. But this one took like about a year. So like I went back a year and then they aired it a year after I was there. But when I was there, I mean, I didn't know how they were what they were gonna show, how they were gonna show, how they were gonna cut it.
Right.
But when I was there, it was like you could tell he was like he was like fuck, you know, he was like swearing. And shit. So I was like, oh, daddies, you know. But me too. I was like, I had no idea, you know. I don't know. So, but yeah, I mean, my level of respect for him like went off the roof because this dude can do it all, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, people think it's just Southwest cuisine that he does, but he touches base on everything, man.
And he like, I mean, he's been doing it for way longer than me, but this no joke.
Yeah, man.
So.
And how did you choose your final dish for that competition?
So the dish was chile colorado,
right?
And they basically told me like, you know, like pick your top 3 dishes that you know how to do really well, and from there we'll pick one, and then you can do that's the one that you're gonna challenge Bobby with. So, they decided on chile colorado. I told them a couple more, but then they're like, no, I think chile colorado is the one. We haven't done it a lot, or we haven't done it at all. And so, yeah, I mean, if you think you could do it in 40 minutes or whatever the time was, I think it was 40 minutes, then, yeah, let's do it. So
yeah. You use the pressure cooker, right, on that one?
Yeah, it wasn't my original idea.
Right.
But they kind of told me, like because you have, like, there's a team of like culinary experts there that kind of tell you like, hey, you know, like you might want to like
for the time constraints
turn off the stove here and there, you know, like if you're fucking up or whatever, they kind of like lead you in the right direction.
Okay.
So yeah, they tell me like you might want to use a pressure cooker. You know, they don't tell you what to do, but they give you suggestions. So I was like, fuck, okay. And then also for that show, I had my best friend and my dad in the stands.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they were for sure coaching me too. And then my friend, he's a chef that's taught me a lot too. And he was like, yeah, pressure cooker. And I was like, all right, cool. It was actually the first time I've ever used a pressure cooker. So yeah, I was a little scared, but it worked. It worked great. Yeah.
So you don't use the Instant Pot at home by any chance?
When I'm making rice, yeah.
Yeah, cool. I use it for everything, bro.
No, it's a good tool. It's a good tool.
Hell
but
yeah,
I mean, like for things like that you want, because a lot of people think like rice is pretty simple and stuff, but it's easy to fuck up. So like for me, like to throw it in a you know in a rice cooker or in Instant Pot, like it's you get perfect rice every time. So
I always talk about, bro, because I cook a lot. Whenever I have my son's birthday parties, I cook just about everything. But rice, I'm hit or miss, and I don't want to get it wrong. So my cousin Crystal, love you, Crystal. I always ask her for the rice. She gets done with the rice. It comes out fluffy and just right. Yeah, rice is one of those dishes I can't tackle, bro.
no, yeah, and it's different like in different places, right? Like obviously, like you get your sushi rice, and that has to be like a certain type of texture and consistency. But then you go to Mexican rice, and a lot of people think it's like overcooked, but and it is, but it's overcooked right. You know, it's like fluffy, but it's not mushy. You know, so it's challenging for sure.
Yeah, and you went, if I remember correctly, because I saw it when it first aired on Discovery Plus.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, you didn't go a traditional route with the chile colorado, huh?
No, so
and Bobby kind of did, huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's where ever since that happened, like. I've been having like wherever I go like sort of like a topic in conversation is like if the people I'm with are like Hispanic or whatever, it's like what to you is chile colorado?
Right.
Because like for example, what's chile colorado to you?
To me, I just make the chile sauce, but the only difference, and this is based on what I've seen my mom do, she uses flour in the chile sauce to thicken it, right?
Yeah.
Only difference from hers and mine is I don't use flour. I just use the chile sauce straight up.
But what protein do you use?
I use pork.
Okay, so you see, that's to me, that's like if you add pork to like chile colorado, that's asado.
Oh yeah.
So then you know like and that's how I grew up because it was always like growing up in Juarez. It was like my dad would make the asado like for like events or gatherings, but then my mom would make chile colorado like every other week, and that was the not quite the same chilies, but it still was a red chili sauce, which was chile colorado, but then it was potatoes and beef.
Right.
And that's chile colorado.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people like do things like that, or I mean I don't want to say they're wrong, but it's like a lot of people it's like chile colorado is pork and the sauce was red sauce or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well then maybe I was wrong, So that's the only thing where I saw when I saw him pull out the pork and I was like, what? I was like, you're making asado, bro. We're not doing the same dish. But yeah, no, so that was the thing. To me, I had my mom's recipe, but for show purposes, like I had to kind of sort of like reinvent it a little bit, like not make it exactly like so just add my personal flair to it. Because if it was just my mom's recipe, then my mom should have been there competing, right?
Right.
But it was like to me it was like it was that an homage to her recipe with my take. So I'm very like when I'm cooking, I'm very like Asian like inspired.
Right.
So I used a lot of Asian ingredients. So like instead of like for example using like which pretty much everybody uses in Hispanic cuisine, like the Nor Suiza or whatever, the chicken powder, chicken bouillon. I use fish sauce, which in a sense could give you almost the same sort of like umami flavor that the thing but it's a little more subtle, So it's, and it's different. So that's one of the things that I did, and I also like to balance my flavors a lot. And I remember for that episode, I to the chile colorado, I ended up adding like rice vinegar and mirin to like kind of like counteract the heat. That. Yeah. So, and then I kind of kicked myself for that because like. One of the critiques from the judges was like that my chile wasn't spicy enough. So I was like,
"Oh, that's right." Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, if you knew how I actually cook."
but then, if you're to go any bit spicier, you're gonna risk it not being completely edible to somebody else's palate.
Yeah, and me personally, I love spice, but over the years, the more you cook, the more you gotta learn that you're not just cooking for yourself; you're cooking for somebody else.
Right.
So I really took that into account, and I was like, I want it balanced. I don't want it spicy. I want it balanced. And that ended up being like one of the things that kind of like got me the L. So.
Yeah, but still, bro, you got the L, but you got the invite back, and that's a win in itself, bro.
Yeah,
just you being there was a win in itself, and that this dude was sweating and he wants you back. That's like, wow, man.
Oh yeah, it's fun. Yeah, so hopefully, I mean, they haven't called me yet, but I know they, like I said, when they first hit me up, it was like, okay, like, we want you on the show. Do you want to be on the show? Whatever. And they hit me up on Instagram.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, well, let's see what's up. And, you know, it seemed like a scam at first, but then, you know, it gets more real and whatever.
Oh,
like
because you didn't initiate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it's like, okay, so we'll call you in like a month. So it took like 6 months from like when they initially hit me up to go to the show, and then I went to the show, and then it was like a year for it to air out. So it's like, I don't know when they're gonna call me, but hopefully soon.
Yeah, that's badass, bro. That's crazy. So then, what were the other 2 dishes that you proposed?
I can't say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it wasn't part of the show, but.
Okay.
I'm still under the NDA for the rest of my life.
I was gonna ask, like, so this whole time you get back to El Paso, and you did have an NDA where you couldn't talk about it at all.
Oh yeah. No, I mean the only ones I knew was my dad and my best friend, but they also signed an NDA. So.
Okay, because they were there.
Yeah, because they were there. So, but yeah, it was the same thing. And then for the Chopped show as well, that it was a little bit more strict too, where it was like you absolutely cannot, you know, like if anything comes out, if you even mention, you know, it's like. So.
But they haven't called you back, bro. But like I was telling you earlier, when you first got here, I watch all those shows like religiously, bro. I've got my guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
I wouldn't consider the food shows guilty pleasures, but like 90 Day Fiance, 1,000-Pound Sisters, I watch that.
Yeah.
But
I'm leaving.
but with all the food shows, because I love them, bro, you do see a lot of familiar faces where they do bring people back pretty often. And
yeah.
So on that note, when are you gonna meet Gordon Ramsay, bro?
Well, I don't know.
It'll happen. Just watch. I'm gonna bring it into fruition, bro. I'm gonna put it out there in the universe, and it'll happen, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, for sure.
That'll be cool, man. So then, yeah, you made it to Chopped. How long after Beat Bobby Flay?
7. It was like Bobby Flay was like in February or March, and then I went to do the Chopped in November, December.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like 8
right,
months around there.
after, yeah,
same year, but yeah, different production, different style, but it was still very much the same. But honestly, like how you mentioned, you like watching the Food Network and all that.
Yeah.
To me, it was the same thing. Growing up in Juarez again, my dad was a chef back then, and he was a foodie too. Like so, and well, my mom too, my sister, and so it was like most of the time like Food Network was on TV. So and if it wasn't Food Network, it was like the public channel 13 or whatever.
Yeah, PBS,
and they have cooking shows too. So we were watching either one. So and it was always like talking about food. But yeah, like once Chopped like started, which I don't know exactly what year it started, but I remember like watching it like more than 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So I mean, watching that show, it was like, to me that was like yes, like because I'm a very competitive person. So watching a show like that was kind of like, yeah, like that's exactly what I want to do. Like, you know, go up and TV and like national TV or whatever, and prove that I'm the best, you know, amongst these people. So when I I applied like this like 10, I would say it was about 12 years ago when I started like professionally cooking, and I never got a call or nothing, you know, and then well, yeah, like fast forward, and once I actually got there, to me it was like part like 25% like I was nervous or whatever, but then the other 75% I was like, I'm supposed to be here, I'm meant to be here, you know. I was like I was there, and I was like, I know where this is at. Like I grew up watching this show. Like I know like the pasta water's back there, it's already boiling, the oven's at 350, you know, like stuff like that. Well, it's actually way higher, it's like at 450 or something like that. But you know, like the ice cream machine, all this stuff. So I was like, nah, yeah, like I feel like I already have a leg up because I want to be here and I meant to be here, and you know, so it was already, to me it was like I'm already like, I'm being here, I'm already a winner, you know. That's
the right attitude, bro.
So
that's the right attitude, and because I imagine on TV it looks easy. Like even me as a fan, just watching like Chopped, you know, people run out of time a lot.
Yeah.
And you're like como chingados le acabó el tiempo? I bet you I wouldn't make that mistake, but I bet you when you're there on the spot, it's a different ballgame. It's
and it is, but like I said, you know, once you have like sort of like a game plan when you're there, like things become a lot easier, because it was a lot like. When we got the first basket, to me it was like, okay, like what are you gonna do? And it was like, I don't know, just stick to what you know. So then I was like, okay, and I mean I don't want to ruin the show for you or whatever, but like throughout the 3 dishes that I did, I stuck to my like Hispanic roots. So
Cool.
like every dish was like me, on a plate. So I think that helped a lot too. Like sticking to what you know. Like a lot of people go in there and I like first round they want to make a salad or a sandwich or like or something that's like simple, but there's no.
What do they call the toast with
Oh yeah,
balsamic and the tomatoes and the
like a bruschetta or something.
bruschetta, yeah.
Yeah. But no, yeah. So it's to me, it's all about like, and even when I create menus anywhere, to me, it's like about creating a story too. Even if you can't see it right away, and I explain to you like why I put things where I put them, then you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense like that. So yeah, like being in there, I was like, okay, if I'm gonna do this in the first dish, and if I make it to the second dish, then I gotta stick to sort of doing my. Like what I know how to do. Not trying to go out of the box or not trying to go too simple, so or too elaborate.
And so, of course, your skill, your experience comes into play. But to some extent, are you also like playing it by ear since it's a big ass curveball that they're throwing at you, or?
Yeah, no. I mean, you wanna sort of adjust because you do get to see what other people are making.
Right.
So, I mean, if you're that kind of person that you don't want to do exactly what they're doing, so you do have to kind of like adjust. But sorry, but yeah, no. I think. It's more like your experience and how you handle pressure, because that's like more than anything. That's when you see like who's actually who's actually good
right
under pressure, and you can tell right away when people are like messing up or doing things that don't make sense, but they like if they have time or whatever they know how to do it, and it's like you didn't do it because you were under pressure, you rushed or whatever. So yeah, I mean, to me like being under pressure is where I thrive, where I get the most creative. So it was like second nature,
Right.
But
No, yeah, man.
It was fun, and I mentioned that in the last show that I was in too. But what was crazy too was that before I got onto the show, so my mom passed away like about 2 years ago.
Okay.
And when I was there in New York, and I was in my hotel room before I went to the show, like I got a phone call that said my mom's name in it, but it wasn't my mom obviously, and it wasn't the same number. But it was her name on the caller ID. You know how like the iPhone tells you like,
yeah.
And I was like, what the hell? So then I answered, and it was like some random lady from like real estate. But I was like, yeah, whatever. So cool. But then it was still like that was in my head, like
yeah,
yeah, like
that's a
what I mean?
sign.
Like, you have somebody like that's so that kind of helped too. Honestly, that
Yeah.
to me that was like you're not alone. So it's like
It helped to establish that mindset.
oh yeah,
I'm here for a reason.
exactly.
I'm exactly where I need to be at this moment in time.
Yeah, there you
And
go.
I'm gonna fucking shine,
Yeah.
dude. So what was your demeanor like on that show? Because clearly you're confident with your skill set.
Yeah.
Clearly you're confident. How'd you show up? Are you just in the zone the whole time? Or are you?
That's exactly it. Yeah, I feel like I'm in the zone and I'm confident and I'm trying to like portray sort of that kind of confidence into like the other competitors, like in a way to where they know that I'm not to be like fucked with, So,
Yeah.
and you can tell too, like, because when you watch the show too, like people like they'll say they're like who do you watch out for? It's like, oh, you gotta watch out for this dude because he's like he knows what the fuck he's doing. So it's like, but no, yeah, it's and it's something that I carried throughout the years too. Like even when I was starting, to me it was like, obviously I'm humble in the sense where like if I don't know something, I'm gonna tell you I don't know something.
Right.
So and it doesn't matter where I'm at.
Right.
But I'm gonna ask questions and I'm gonna find out because I want to know. So like for the next time, I don't have to ask or whatever. But to me it's a lot about confidence, especially when you're leading. And I started leading at a very early age in my cooking career. So you gotta sort of like bring out that attitude of like I'm confident in what I'm doing and I know what I'm doing, and like you guys like just fall in line, ask me questions and just do as I do and you're gonna be okay. So
Yeah.
that's kind of like my mentality that I got like early on.
And so you've got Ted Allen as a host who does a great job being the host.
Oh yeah.
Who were the judges, bro?
It was Jeffrey Zakarian.
Oh shit, yeah, dude.
Another Iron Chef.
Yeah.
And then it was man, I can't remember the other two names just off the top of my head, but
Jeffrey Zakarian's a big name.
yeah, and
So
no, yeah, so it was him and there's the other good dude that's there often. Was Owerito.
so there's
And he's usually there like all the time. And
Yeah,
there was like a
there's Scott Conant is one of them,
no, it wasn't him.
and then Alex Guarnacelli's always on there. Um, who else? Los Güeritos. Man, I can't think.
Well, yeah, but no, I mean, so, but yeah, it was, and what was cool, like, while I was there, like, after that first initial, like, judging phase that they do or whatever, like, that's kind of when I was like, because I was like, kind of like, okay, like, I gotta do this, you know, I was like, it was like that mix of confidence and like stress and like kind of like nervousness.
Right.
But then after that, that first like judgment, I guess the first round, and they told me like about my dish. They talked about my dish, and I was like, oh, like I kind of, that's when I was like, okay, like
you got to relax.
Yeah, I got this. So I was like, okay, cool. Like no, I know what I know how to do it. I know, you know, adjust it, whatever. So, but they were really impressed with my dishes, and they say that on the show too, but like, I mean, obviously there's a lot of back row that they don't show, so during that they were like super impressed, so I was like, cool, yeah.
Did you get any harsh criticism on some of the stuff, or?
On the second dish I did, because it was this very like delicate fish that was one of the ingredients, and my whole dish was a mole, so Jeffrey was like, he's like, this is, you cooked the fish great, the mole is great, and they were really impressed that I made mole in 30 minutes.
Right.
So they were like, okay, no, this is great, whatever. But then he was like, the fish has no business with the mole. It's like, it's like two things that you're not supposed to combine. And I was like, well, okay, fine, you know, that's fair.
But they're always asking for you to be a risk taker too.
Yeah.
On that show.
So, but it was like, so I understood because, yeah, I mean, Dover sole is like a very expensive, but it was like, well, you guys didn't give me truffles or caviar, you know, so it's like,
yeah.
But, you know, it's like, okay, yeah, like that was probably the hardest, like, critique that I got.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, no, I mean, they were impressed that I did the mole, and then they mentioned that the only other person that's ever done mole and chopped is Aaron Sanchez.
Yeah,
so.
from El Paso.
Yeah, it's like a Paso boy, so.
Dude, so like I told you, with me working at the railroad, I was telling you before we started recording that I travel a lot with work, right?
Yeah.
So I used to fly out either every Monday I'd be flying to work or from work back home. Most recently I'm doing every Tuesday. I run into Aaron Sanchez at the airport a lot, bro.
Yeah.
But I never approached him. I never approached anybody, you know. But he looked approachable. I don't know if he was or not, but I just never approached him.
Yeah, I met him a couple times because I was working at Taft Diaz for a while, so that's one of the hotels that he stays at, the Stanton House.
Okay.
And yeah, but it was just very, very formal, you know, like I don't, you know, whatever. And he's cool. He's a cool, like he seems pretty down to earth, you know.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Hell yeah, man, that's great. Yeah, man, that's great. And then, so for the dessert round, what's that anticipation like when you're like, this is it, this is my final go round to see what becomes of this whole?
Well, that was, to me, that was probably the hardest challenge because I'm not a dessert person, and that's a cliche, like from a lot of good chefs that are like, oh, well, I suck at pastries or desserts, you know, but unfortunately it's true. Like, and I don't want to say that I'm like the worst at it because I do have some good ideas when I'm creating a menu, and you know, but I do get help from like friends when like, if I want to create something for a menu and I'm like, I need the dessert and I need it like this, I go to my close friends and be like, that do know how to do pastry, and just ask them, you know, like pointers on how to execute a certain dish. But yeah, like before going to the show, I hit up these close friends and I hit up my dad because my dad's a baker too. Right. So I was like, what should I do? You know, like in the dessert round, what do you think? What's something simple that I could do with anything that they throw at me? And everybody said, like, use the pastry dough. Like, use the pastry dough that they already have. And I was like, that's not really help, but okay. So, like, that was the first thing in my head, you know, going in. So when I made it to the dessert round, it was like, okay, pastry dough, like, let's see. But then I opened the basket, and then the first ingredient that they gave me is baklava.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's already like a certain pastry dough, you know, like already, and it's already dessert. It's already plated.
It's got the pistachio.
I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like throw a crumble on a pastry dough, and it's like dough and on dough. So I'm like, oh, I can't do that. But then the next ingredient is quince, which is something we grew up here in the border with.
Yep.
And then they give us a truffle honey, which is just truffle with honey in it, and then a certain type of it's like an Indian snack, which is called farfar. and it's like little rings that you throw in the fryer and they puff up.
Yeah.
And it's like all kinds of colors.
It's like the chicharrones, no?
Yeah,
Kind
exactly. But it's meant to be sweet, I guess.
Yeah.
So then I'm kind of nervous because at this point, like, obviously you talk to like the competitors that you're with, whatever, they get eliminated one by one, you know, and then at the end it's like two that you go to the back room and you're like talking and all this stuff. So I'm talking with this guy that's, you know, the other finalist, and he's like, oh no, dude, I suck at desserts, and I'm like, oh, me too, you know, and all this stuff, and so we're like all like talking like, you know, like that's gonna be tough. I'm like, okay, cool, but then I'm like, I'm just like, no, well, I mean, I'm already here, you know, like, let's win it, you know, whatever. But then I'm still like, I don't know what to do, whatever. So then I open the basket, and then my demeanor goes even a little bit lower. And then, like, this dude, like, starts, like, banging shit out like crazy, like if he knows exactly what to do. So I'm like, what the, I was like, he was playing with me, like, you know, like, mind tricks or whatever. But this is already going at it, and I'm like, wow, like, what am I going to do? So I know how to cook the quince first, because I've done that many times. So, like, I cook the quince down, but then as I'm cutting the quince, like, I'm trying to cut it, like, really, like fine dice, you know, whatever.
To cook it faster.
Yeah, and then I'm, like, picking it up off the board. As I'm picking it off the board, I chipped myself, like, I cut my finger.
Oof.
So then I'm like, boom. And it's a very, like, little thin cut, but it's, like, right here. So it's, like, it bleeds, right?
Medic!
So, yeah. So I'm like, so they tell you, like, when you cut yourself, like, raise your hand. We're going to take you off the thing, and we have to, you know, take care of you or whatever.
Do they stop the clock, though, or no?
No.
Oh,
the clock doesn't stop. So, yeah. So then I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I cut myself, and this guy, like, dude, you got this medic, like, over here fumbling he's trying to go faster in his head, you know, than with his hands, and I'm like, oh, dude, just put some tape on it or something, you know? And then so he's doing it, he's, like, cleaning it, and all this, I'm like, oh, fuck. And then this guy's still, like, you know, going, like, 100 miles an hour, and I'm just over here, like, looking at the clock. And then, like, yeah, he tapes it up, puts a glove. And another thing, too, like, they have, like, the super, like, bad, like, non-latex gloves, like, the ones that don't stretch.
Right.
And I got big hands, you know? And I asked for XL, but, you know, XL, like, for those, even then, it's, like, it's a tough fit. So then I go back to the board, and they throw away all my quince that I just cut. And then I'm, like, starting over, and then, like, you like, put a glove on, and I'm like, okay. And then I put a glove on, and then, like, it tears. And they're like, okay, medic. And then, like, I have to go back again. I'm like, are you kidding me? So it's like a good, like, 6-7 minutes.
You just see the seconds, like, going by faster and faster.
But then on the second time when he's, like, taping me up, and he's, like, talking, but I'm not listening to him, like, and I'm, like, I kind of just zoom out, and then look at the clock. I was like, wait, no, like, dude, like, relax. It's like, so I'm, like, in my head, like, I'm talking to myself, and I'm like, okay, just, like, chill out.
Yeah.
Like, you're here already, dude. Like, win this. And I'm like, okay. And then I remember they told us, like, the ice cream machine can have ice cream ready in 8 minutes. And then there was still, like, another 20-something minutes left. And I was like, fuck yeah, okay, I'm going to make ice cream. So then, like, he takes me out, whatever, I put my glove on, and then I get the ingredients to make ice cream. So then I go back, and then I do the quince. I'm making baklava ice cream, and then I see some tortillas on the shelf that they have. It's flour tortillas. So I'm like, sopapillas.
Yeah.
And then so like with the quince and the honey, I make like a syrup. You know how like sometimes they give you like a little syrup to go on top of the sopapilla. So I'm like, I make the syrup with that. And then I go to the fryer. I fry the farfar, and then I fry the tortillas, and then they puff up like super beautiful. And now I have a game plan, and now I'm going, and now I'm kicking it, and yeah. So sorry. I played the dish. They tell you, like, if you're gonna do ice cream, put it on the side, so we can put it in the freezer while you guys are, like, doing, you know.
Yeah.
So then I put it in a little cup, and then I put the sopapilla, I put the sauce, and it looks great. And this guy made his name's Adam, super cool dude, and he makes like fritters. And they look super great and everything, and like very well executed. So I was like, fuck, like it's gonna be tough. But yeah, we go back. I think we come back to the judgment table or whatever, to the chop block. And yeah, they're like, well, this is the dish we have to chop. They show his dish, and I'm just like, wow.
This can't be real.
I'm like, no way.
After all those obstacles that you just faced, and
yeah. And yeah, I mean, the coolest thing is hearing like Ted Allen say, like, you know, like, Chef Enrique Lozano, you're the chop champion. And I was like, I never thought I'd hear that in my life, you know. So,
dude, so what I would be afraid of on that show is that walk of shame at the end of you lose.
Oh yeah,
because they show everybody all sad when they're walking out, and what's crazy is sometimes it's the proudest people that are competing.
Oh yeah,
it's like tenga way, you know. Like, yeah. So I'm glad that wasn't the case for you, bro. I'm glad you kicked ass on it. That's a great story, man.
Yeah.
I think the way I talk, man, if I cut my finger and I saw those seconds dwindling by, I'd be motherfucking the hell out of myself. And
yeah, you're like, yeah. I was thinking like I already lost.
Yeah, valió madre, bro. Yeah, damn, bro. I'm glad you won, man. That's a great story. So clearly you can't talk about any other show just yet. But have you been invited to anything else that you can't name? Or?
I got invited to another show that they haven't called me back yet.
Okay.
I can't say which one or whatever, but yeah, that was a couple of months ago. So, but yeah, I mean, hopefully, I don't know. We'll see.
Try to make it onto a triple threat with Bobby again, man. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah.
That'll be a great one to do too. Or go up against Alex Cornicelli. Her show's pretty good too.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Dude, that's a great story, man. That's badass. You're doing great things for Socorro, for El Paso, for yourself. That's awesome, man.
Oh yeah, and that's, I mean, I said it before and I'll say it again, but that's a big thing for me, you know, because growing up, it's like we don't have that many role models, like especially here in Socorro, you know. It's the mentality is very like small city, you know, small, like, and it's very few people that kind of like get out of high school and then try to do good big things, you know.
Yeah.
And not just for themselves but for the community. So being one of the few, you know, it's kind of like, to me it's like a big responsibility, and it's something that I'm gonna take with me like forever, you know, like where it's like, dude, I want to be able to, like, especially my daughter's growing up here in Socorro too, you know, so I want to give her sort of like that aspiration to, like, you know, you could do whatever you want, you know, like I'm from Socorro, like I grew up here, and you know I made it to Chopped, you know, and I didn't have to, and I want Chopped, you know, and not just that, but like I've also been James Beard nominee, you know, and that's super huge too, you know, so it's like just things like that is like, you can, and I did it out of Socorro, you know, I did it out of here, Socorro Road. I didn't go to New York or Chicago or whatever. You can do it out of here. You just got to put your heart into it.
Because how many people do we know that coulda, woulda, shoulda mentality, but they get stuck by themselves a lot, you know? They don't see beyond the sky. They say the sky's the limit, but nah, man, there's shit beyond the sky too. You just got to reach for it.
Yeah.
And your daughter's how old?
She's 4.
She's 4?
Yeah.
She's got some good stuff to look forward to, man.
Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, going back to like that sort of thing, you know, where it's like yeah, sure, you know, people kind of like, they get stuck or whatever, you know, something goes wrong, and it's like, whatever, you know, it's the city, it's the people. It's like, no, we'll make them believe in you, you know, like, it's hard, yeah, it's gonna be hard, like, it's gonna be working every day, 24/7, you know, whatever, but you have to do it, you know, like, otherwise, then, yeah, it's gonna be small mentality, and you probably end up leaving town. You know, I'm not talking shit about people that leave town or whatever, because you can do that too. It's an option, you know, and you'll make it great and you'll do it big, hopefully. But it's still, you can do it here. You just got to work a little harder.
Yeah, and you got to make things happen, and that's one of the things, because my son's 10 years old, and with the podcast, and we do music together too. You know, we've got music on iTunes and YouTube, whatever. He's my drummer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what I'm teaching him, is that we got to make things happen. Because a lot of people want shit to fall in their fucking laps. Yeah. And that ain't gonna fucking happen. Yeah. And I'll be damned if my son thinks things are gonna happen just because they're gonna happen. Yeah. Like, no, you gotta make things happen. I'm not doing anything to your level. I aspire to. I mean, look at you, man. I'm 10 years older than you, 11 years older than you. You've done a lot, you know, but that doesn't mean, I'm gonna stop myself from achieving dreams. Like, no, like, most important, like you are with your daughter, I'm doing things to teach him that you got to make things happen for yourself, and also it's if, like, even with a podcast, we're not big, I aspire to be big, but when I started this, I got a sense of pride, similar pride, I mean, yours is better, but similar pride that you must get with your food when somebody tells you what a great dish they just had, you know. I've got people telling me, of course Rene's doing a podcast, because they know how I am. I'm a creative, you know.
It's awesome.
You're a creative in the food industry, you know, and it's intense and it's badass, bro. It's
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm glad I'm here, you know, because hopefully we do that sort of it's a collaboration at the end of the day, you know, and that's something that another thing that I for sure aspire to. Um, Ever since so Charlatan was my second restaurant.
right.
I opened my first restaurant when I was 26, and that was El Paso downtown, and it was Nishi Ramen, and it was one of the first ramen shops that ever popped up in El Paso, and like ever since this was 2017, and ever since like it was like that's people kind of sort of got like ramen could happen here in El Paso,
Yeah.
so boom 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 boom, which is great because that was my idea. I mean, you go back to like and I guess back then when I was younger, like I would post a lot more on Facebook or whatever. And you could go back to a post where I was like, I'm going to go to Chicago, because before I opened the restaurant, I was in Chicago. I'm going to go to Chicago, come back, open a ramen shop, and then hopefully 10 more open up. And it happened, you know? And you could go back and it's there. But it's like, to me, it's kind of like, I just want better options for the city. You know, I don't want to have to like go to New York for good sushi. You know, I want to, I want good sushi here. I want good ramen here. I want good dim sum. I want good tacos. You know, like whatever. So, how you said it before, it's like, make it happen. You know, like you can make it happen. Like don't just wait for something. You know, whatever. Like don't wait for somebody to open up a ramen shop. You open up yourself. You know, and unfortunately that closed down too. You know, but the lessons are there. The sort of like the blueprint was established. You know, and from there on it's just like steps forward. So I'm not ashamed to say, I've closed down 2 restaurants, but yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like, just there's still a lot of opportunity out there, so.
No, but so I can't remember where I saw or heard this, but they talk about how a bunch of people that start restaurants go through several before they get it right, before they hit the mark, and they're boom, success.
Yeah, so something like, I want to say it's about 98%. There's a 98% failure rate in the restaurant industry. Most restaurants don't make it past 2 years, so 98% don't. So it's that 2%, that get it right. So yeah, I mean it's probably gonna take a while or whatever, but I'm confident that the next one's gonna be great. So I mean, if I may plug that in, but yeah, we got a project coming up in San Elizario,
right?
And that's gonna be awesome too. And what's even cooler is like it's already being talked about, but also like the people that I'm working with, Maya and Gabe. Maya Sanchez being one of the first female mayors of San Elizario,
okay.
And she's still very much for the community, not just from San Eli, but from El Paso. She works very closely with like a bunch of like groups in the city of El Paso that just kind of try to push the city forward, and Gabe as well too. So it's like they have the right idea, and not just that, but they have the space there in San Eli too. So
right,
that's gonna be it's a very ambitious project, and it's very big, but it's gonna be something that, to me, like people are gonna want to like drive out to. They're gonna want to see, and they're already asking, like, what's your next thing? What's gonna be your next thing? So that's gonna be my next thing, and it's called Mija. Mainly because of my daughter, but then also because Maya, she's an only child too.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like the combination of of both, but we're gonna have a lot of cool things. We're gonna have a farm. We're gonna have livestock. We're gonna have a bee farm.
Nice.
We're gonna have we want to have a Airbnb kind of huts,
nice.
Because we have like a big like a 4-acre land. So we want to have like a place where you can go eat and stay or whatever. And on top of that, we want to do it to where we're gonna be a no waste or 0 waste kitchen. But then with that 0 waste comes into play where we're gonna do a soup kitchen in the mornings.
Okay.
So sort of like run it as a soup kitchen for the community, and then in the nights turn it into like a fine dining restaurant kind of deal. So it's something that I'm looking very much forward to, and right now kind of just like I'm not taking on big projects. I'm just kind of doing like little things like here and there, like taking over kitchens like what I'm doing right now at Benny Frank's.
Right.
But I'm kind of keeping myself open to when we're ready to get that going, which is already kind of going. Like that's gonna be my thing, and it's gonna be my project, and mine along with Maya and Gabe, but it's gonna be my baby, and it's gonna be something that I'm gonna put all my effort into, and hopefully the people like it, you know. So
I bet you they will, bro. You've established yourself already, and you've got your followers, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't wait to go.
No, yeah, it's gonna be great, and I hope I hope it's gonna be there to stay, you know. And that's my goal at the end of the day.
Yeah, because before anything else, I mean, what else does Sanelli have to offer? They got Licon Dairy, they got the best asadero cheese.
Oh yeah.
Now we're gonna have your spot there too, and it's just right here. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, and yeah, I mean, it's a drive for people from like the west side or whatever, but we want to make it worth the drive, and I think we're gonna be able to do that, especially like with the connections I made over the years and all that, you know, like I wanna, going back to, like, sort of didn't really finish my thought, but going back to the collaboration thing, like I want to have chefs in there like every other week or whatever, you know, that they bring their following too, but then also for people to know that nobody's alone, you know, nobody's like, we're all together, we're all a community. Even if I'm out here in San Luis, I still want to help people out there in the west or whatever, and not just there, but like even bringing people from out of town, like could be anywhere. I know we have Gabe Morales was in El Paso too, and he's in Austin, and he's also working in a restaurant in Washington. But it's like bringing them and having him do a dinner here, you know, whatever. To me, it's all about collaboration and kind of like showing people that you're never alone, you know. Like sometimes like there's restaurants that kind of like that don't do collaborations or anything like that, and they're sort of like, oh, we're doing it here, you know, and we did it by ourselves or whatever. You don't have to. You don't have to. Like, people are willing they're willing to like work with you, do whatever sort of collaboration, help you out, you know, whatever. I think people need to be more open to helping each other and working with others.
It's because I think the mentality back then with everything from food, restaurants to comedy to music, it used to be a dog eat dog world. Oh, yeah. And now it's people are realizing now that there's plenty of pie for everybody, you know. There's plenty of if you guys help promote each other, it's only going to be better. It's going to benefit everybody equally.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's sort of like what I was going back to, like from when I opened Ishi, like it was a priority to me. My business partner back then, I was like, we're going to have events every month. Like, we're going to bring in people. It doesn't have to be a restaurant. It doesn't have to be a chef. It could be a restaurant. It could even be a business. Like, if somebody's selling coffee, or even if you're selling shirts, like you come in and post up here and sell your shirts for the day or whatever, you know, whatever it is. But it's all about working with each other, you know, and which is why I'm here right now too, you know.
Yeah. Especially
you're here in Socorro, you know, you're like 7 minutes from my house, so it's like, of course, you know, like I wanna be here and hopefully help out, you know, and not just here, but you know, like if you ever have like any other projects, I'd love to be a part of it, or if I can plug you in anywhere, you know, that's
likewise, man. My door's always gonna be open to you, bro, and I said it when we first started recording. I'm just honored that you even made the time for us, man. Adrian and I have this dream. We're gonna make this blow up as big as we can, and
that's awesome. And
only we can stop each other, you know. But if we get support from everybody, and we're equally gonna share that back. Whatever I can do to help you guys out too, you know. It's why I'm here.
Yeah.
Again, I want to showcase El Paso, man.
Yeah. With finishing off on that collaboration stuff. We have a sort of like a big project happening right now, or that's gonna happen at Benny Frank's. I'm collaborating with Chef Mike Graham from 1700, the restaurant inside the Paso del Norte Hotel. Super talented chef, super amazing dude, down to earth, awesome guy, and we're gonna be doing taco fights at Benny Frank's. So it's gonna be sort of like an elimination round kind of deal.
Yeah.
Where we're gonna start off with. The count's pretty big right now. I think it's like about 20 chefs from around town or that are from El Paso or whatever, but it's regional. And basically, we have these 2018 chefs, and me and Mike are gonna. It's gonna be two teams. So Mike's team, my team. We're gonna do like an NFL draft kind of deal. Like we're gonna pick like our chefs, and then they're gonna go like one versus one, like every Tuesday at Benny Frank's, like starting sometime in November. And then, like just like that elimination process until we get to the championship, which is going to be like the two best chefs, and then we're like from each team, and then we're going to pair with them, and then we're going to do the final at Paso del Norte, and we're going to do like a big thing. They're going to get a trophy and all kinds of goodies and stuff. So it's going to be really fun.
That, and you've also got a raffle coming up for Thanksgiving too, right?
Oh yeah. I have a raffle. That's something that I want to try out. It's with one of my best friends and a great chef as well, with Gil Bustamante, and what we're doing is basically you buy a ticket for $40 and you get a chance you get a number in the raffle, and then yeah, so you can buy up to five, and towards Thanksgiving we'll do like the live the live draw, and yeah, so you get the whole Thanksgiving dinner. We'll go drop it off hot, obviously, like like a hot meal, and yeah, so you're gonna get to feed like up to 20 people like for like $40 if you win, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's still plenty of spots, so that's gonna be fun too.
And then a little while ago, you briefly touched on being a James Beard semifinalist. How did that go about?
Yeah, I don't know. it was.
They just.
I mean, I have some
or?
idea of how they picked us, but it was a surprise, and that happened like right after my mom, like a couple months after my mom passed.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of like a little bit disconnected of like what was
Right.
going on, but Chef Emiliano from Elemi, he messaged me, and it was early in the morning. He was like, "Hey, dude, congrats!" And I was like, "Congrats on what?" Like what? And then he sends me a picture, and then it's like I just read James Beard on top, and I'm like looking down, and it's like Socorro, Texas, Enrique Lozano, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like what? Like what's going on?" And I like look it up like on the phone, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Like I jump out of bed, and then I get a cramp, and I'm like trying to like celebrate, but I have this cramp going on, and I'm like, holy shit, like, dude, what? Like, this is insane. Like, it's something, like, to me, like, I aspire to be, like, on TV, of course.
Right.
But then, like, one of those, like, reach, like shoot for the sky and then a little further, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
To me, the further was James Beard, it was, like, the stars, whatever. So, like, making it up there, I was like, wow, like, that's crazy, Semi-finalist, obviously there's, like, stages, semi-finalist and then the winner.
Mm-hmm.
But still, just being mentioned as a semi-finalist, it was insane, And,
Yeah.
I give a lot of credit to the team that I had back at Charlatan in Socorro, or here. I couldn't have done it without them, and especially without the support that everybody, like, people just loved El Charlatan,
Yeah.
It's a great sort of project that was way bigger than myself, so to me, it wasn't just like I made it to the James Beard. It was like Socorro made it.
Yeah.
We made it. So
That's humble, bro. That's you, though, man.
yeah.
It's amazing because that tells you, just as a nominee, you're part of a certain echelon. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It's.
Yeah. No, and it's sort of like now now we have that kind of like looking glass or magnifying glass like towards us. Like, what are we gonna do with that attention?
Mm-hmm.
So it's still here. And I encourage everybody that has a restaurant, everybody that's cooking out there, like, keep on pushing. Because you can get it too. I got it out here, Socorro. Like, where people thought nobody was gonna show up. And we made it happen. Like, you can make it happen too. You just gotta work hard. That's the only recipe.
Yeah, man. And then as far as restaurants go, how you were talking about when you opened your ramen restaurant and 10 more popped up.
Yeah.
That's good, man, because old school El Paso mentality is, if you want to have fine dining, you're going to go to Red Lobster or fucking Olive Garden, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to change.
Good. Good,
so,
man.
And I'm not the only one, honestly. There's way more people that have that mentality too.
Mm-hmm.
There's groups of people that have that mentality, and they're trying to make it happen. Like they're making it happen. Like Casa Pantera, that's a great restaurant, and they're sort of like the ones that are pushing that envelope of what it means to go out and eat in El Paso.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience, and good service. Great food, good drinks. You might put Casa Pantera in another city and it's like a casual restaurant, but since we're El Paso, we're like, it's like a fine dining restaurant or whatever. But I mean, whatever sort of like title you give it or whatever, it's still a good restaurant, and that's great, and that's kind of like what we want to, aim for. You have Acá over in Central, or a little bit further, like closer to downtown, which is a great restaurant as well, and they're even doing a tasting menu too. You have Taf Diaz downtown, which is great. You have 1700 Paso del Norte. You have Casanova. These are all like, the list goes on. So there's a lot of people trying to make it. Sorry. Lemmy, of course. James Beard, he's been nominated 3 times, So it's there's a lot of great chefs out there that are trying to make it. They're maybe not as loud as me, because I like to be loud, especially on social media.
Right.
I let people know, like, because to me it's not, again, it's not just I made it. We're making it. Like, we're all making it together, So my win is your win, and it's everybody's win.
Correct.
So yeah, I want people to know, like I'm James Beard, I won Chopped, but we can all aspire to that. So yeah, for sure, like I said, the people are not as loud as me, but they're working hard too, So it's to me it's like the future's bright, So
yeah, man, you're gonna keep on shining, bro.
Yeah,
you're gonna keep on shining.
Thank you.
And as far as like I mentioned, Red Lobster and Olive Garden. As far as restaurants like that, or not even just that, like fast food, do you have any guilty pleasures, like a go-to?
I go to Chico's Tacos at least once a month to kind of humble myself, to keep myself grounded, But no, but other than that, it's, to me, like, I don't hate on big chains,
right?
Because
we grew up on it.
I grew up on it. My first tattoo was a hamburger, a cheeseburger. It's I don't even remember, A&W.
Yeah.
So it's an A&W like double bacon cheeseburger, and it's to me like, growing up, coming from Juarez, we didn't eat out all that often.
Right.
Like, it was like once a month kind of deal, and it was. Like, my mom got, like, fried chicken from KFC or...
Churches.
Or Pollo Feliz,
okay.
Or... Churches, too. Or maybe a pizza, But once we moved over here, it was a lot more eating out and stuff. But then there was this one time I would help my dad. When we moved over here, he left the kitchen side and he went into construction. So then I went to help him out one weekend, and... we're driving back home, and I was like, I'm kind of hungry. So then he's like, okay, we'll stop at this burger spot while I get gas or whatever, because it was next to a gas station. And so yeah, he's in the drive-thru, and then he's like, what do you want? I was like, I'm already like kind of like, what the fuck? Like, we're gonna get a burger here at a gas station? That's kind of weird. And then he's like, yeah. I was like, oh, just whatever you get. And then like, I'm smelling the food, and I was like, fuck, it smells so good. And then he gives me the bag, and then I open it up, and it's like that, like, aha moment, like, I don't know, like I see the burger, and it's like in the commercial, like when you used to like going to like McDonald's or something, and it's like a shitty burger,
all squashed.
Yeah, all squashed. And then this one is like a fluffy, like you can see the cheese, you can see the bacon, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I eat it, and then it's like, dude, this is delicious. Obviously it's not healthy food, it's not nutritious or whatever, but to me that was one of the sparks that kind of like stuck in my head, where it's like, you can change people's emotions through food, and
for sure.
Like, not just that, but you can change their entire like attitude, like in a day. Like, food is not just like a sustenance, but like, you never know when somebody walks into a restaurant and they're having a shitty day, and you cook them a good meal, it's gonna change their day. Where otherwise, if you just like make like whatever fucking bullshit food, like you're just going through the motions, you fucking make them a burger, whatever, and it's like, fuck. Even the worst day, I just went to a restaurant that had a shitty burger. But then you go the opposite end, and it's like, like it's like they made, they created me, so
yeah,
it's like it's food. Food is it's a big thing for us.
Oh yeah.
So
I equate food to music, bro, because there's always that song that no matter what your mood is, it'll set you straight sometimes.
Yeah,
there's food that does that. There's songs that do that.
Yeah.
Even movies, it's just art, man. It's all art. It's all.
Like mom's cooking, grandma's cooking, like that's the kind of thing that like listening to like I don't know, Pink Floyd, like Through the Wall or whatever. It's like just, like you just put it in, like, it's gonna be a good experience. So it's definitely like, food. So going back to like the whole like big chain thing, it's like I find comfort in some of the big chains, like where other people are like, well, that's kind of like all this food that's heat up in a microwave or whatever. Right. It's like I don't see it like that. I kind of see it like, sometimes you don't have money to like maybe go to like a super fancy restaurant, but you have like maybe like $100 to go to Applebee's, and you're gonna have a good time, especially who you're with, right? But it's what you make it, I don't hate on big chains like that. So do I avoid them and try to go local? Yes, but at the same time, it's like I get it. So. Yeah.
And why ramen, bro? Why is that your go-to, or one of your many go-tos?
Well, it was one of the things that was another kind of like a aha moment in my life. Before I fell in love with ramen, it was to me it was Italian food because I'm a crafty person. I like to like get like my hands dirty and like kind of like do lengthy processes and stuff like when I'm cooking. So like pasta is one of those, right? And not just that, but like layers of flavor in Mediterranean food and Italian food, which both are like kind of the same thing. There's layers of flavor and there's like spices and there's like it's good food, like, and there's no question about it. Like you taste it and it's like flavor. But then there was this one time I hadn't tried ramen. I knew about ramen or whatever, but I hadn't tried it like where it was like an actual dish that somebody prepared.
Legit ramen and not the maruchan.
Not the maruchan, yeah, which maruchan is fucking great, right?
It is.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like maruchan, but we went to this restaurant here in El Paso. It's called Matsuharu, which is the oldest ramen shop in El Paso. And my friend took me there, and then we ordered whatever. I was super excited because I never tried it before. And the first like kind of like a slurp of the soup or whatever, just a broth. I was like, whoa, fuck, like this is crazy. Like there's like this depth of flavor, and then you try the noodles, and it's like, and then you try the meat, and then the little ingredients that it has, whatever toppings they put on it, and it was pretty life changing. And I was like, I want to do this. Like I'm gonna learn how to do this. And I didn't go to Japan, and I didn't go work there. I just like got as many books as I could about it. I would see it like in the magazine. I'll take the magazine and like read up on it, like, and started making my recipes. Like I started making my own broth, which at the beginning was super shitty. But then it was to me it was like love at first sight kind of deal, or love at first taste, Ramen is just something. It's comforting. It's complex. It's flavorful. It's got everything that can. I guess. It's got everything that like a chef can represent in a plate, I guess, It's got technique, it's got flavor, it's got to make the broth, you need patience, you need, so it's kind of like if I were to compare it to, I don't know, music, it'd probably be like, making that one hit song that everybody listens to, it's like it's gonna get a little bit of everything, like maybe like the change of a rhythm, or like somebody hits a high note, or something like that.
But it's gotta be catchy.
But it's gonna be catchy, and it's and if you do it right, like everybody's gonna like it or whatever. So,
All Star by Smash Mouth. No, but a lot goes into the broth, same as pho, just like ramen.
Yeah.
Like so I've seen the complexity of the broth on TV shows. You're like, wow, man.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like you could get really crazy and really creative with how you make your broth. But I mean, been cooking now for like more than 13 years, and it's like simpler is better. And that's sort of like what I gravitate towards now, where I don't want to like make like a super complex ramen broth that's not gonna last like more than 2 days in the fridge because it's got all these ingredients. Where I can make like a super rich broth that's like super porky and stuff, and it's right to the point. That's gonna last me like a little bit longer in the fridge, and like people will try it and they're not gonna trip out. I don't have to explain anything. You taste it and it's pork, So it's like, it's to me like simpler is better now.
Yeah. I'm not a cook to your level or a chef to your level at all, But I will say I made some pozole a couple weekends ago.
Oh, nice.
This dude was slurping the hell out of it. He's
Badass.
he's on his diet.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
He's on his diet and just man.
Like green or red pozole?
I made the red pozole.
Red pozole.
I think I don't know if other people do this or not. I don't know if it's blasphemous or not. But aside from the pork broth, I also do vegetable broth in there.
Oh, yeah.
It gives a little bit of a tangier tomato taste or whatever's in there, celery, carrot.
Yeah.
It just came out really good, I think, and to the point where initially there was something missing and it was a bit too spicy, so I added a little. I feel bad adding more water to broth, bro. But it actually came out pretty good, right? It came out very good, man.
And it was delicious.
There's something very like special about making like soups and broths and caldos. You know, it's there's just something like it's like you put some sort of care into it. You know, like especially I'm sure with the pozole, you know, the things you added on there were for a purpose. You know, like so like you added the vegetable broth, because you're like, well, I want to make it a little bit different or whatever the flavor. But then at the end of the day, like it's something that's gonna sit on the stove for more than a few minutes, you know, more than like a microwave heat up or whatever. It's like for me, like our broth cooks for like 10 hours.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So like it's you know it's kind of like there's some thought that goes into it, you know. So when you eat it, it's like okay, you know, like it's different. Like what do they do different? Time, you know. So it's
so for that 10 hours, how often are you going there and checking on it or stirring?
you have to refill it. So
because it
evaporates obviously.
Yeah.
But
it concentrates.
But as you get to a certain level where like the bones that you add into it stop giving like whatever nutrients that they have, and so that's when you know like you know you get the right consistency, and that's when you know like you can't add any more water, because you add more water then it's gonna get watery or whatever. But yeah, you start off at a certain level, then you keep on refilling with water, and then once you get to like that point where you know the bones can't give anything else or the collagen or whatever, then that's when you know like okay, no more water, like now concentrate it, reduce it to the right level, and that's it. That's the broth.
Intense. That's intense, bro. I remember. So I went to art school right after high school in Phoenix, and one of my buddies, Ethan, he's half Japanese, half white.
Oh, cool.
And we were eating Maruchan ramen quite a bit right when you're in college.
Yeah.
And the big game changer that I learned from him, and you've probably done this too, I don't know, but was while you're boiling the water with the broth before you put the pasta in there, he was like, "Do you ever put an egg into it?" And I'm like, "No, man." And at first I was grossed out by it, but then he showed me and he had me try. I was like, "Dude, game changer for real, man."
Yeah. No, and so that goes back to like the whole thing how like ramen's affordable or whatever, instant ramen's affordable, but then eggs are too, you know. So it's that you're not gonna go buy a whole chicken or a piece of steak. It's an egg that's cheaper than buying all that, and it gives you your proteins or whatever. But then you can cook it in so many ways, you know. Ramen goes good with any type of egg, hard boiled, soft boiled, like a scrambled in the soup, you know, like. So it's definitely I've done that before many times, and yeah, I could say for sure. Adding any sort of egg into your instant ramen will game changer. So for sure.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
And I want to go back to the shows and having your dad. Was your dad present for Chopped also, or just for Beat Bobby Flay?
Just for Beat Bobby Flay, because for Chopped they didn't let me have anybody in the audience. So.
Okay.
Oh, there was no audience actually. So.
Yeah, and your dad being there, so like my dad, he's old school Hispanic for sure.
Yeah.
Doesn't share a lot of emotions, but we know clearly he loves us and everything.
Yeah.
How's your dad as far as seeing your success?
So it's a little bit the same, but once my mom passed, like me and my dad kind of created like this bond. We already had a bond, but we kind of became like best friends.
Right. Good.
So it's very much like I mean he'll tell me, you know, like straight out like mijo te quiero mucho and all this stuff, you know, and he'll hug me or whatever, kiss me and stuff, and it's like he doesn't hide it as much as he used to. So yeah, no, I mean having him there it's a blessing, honestly.
Yeah, man. For
sure. I was so happy that he was there, and for him to see, you know, his son, and and he tells me too, you know, how proud he is. So for him to see that, you know, like it's like, because obviously like I wasn't an easy child either, you know, so like kind of like seeing like the effort that he put into like making me like the man that I am today, like paid off. So for sure.
And does he talk about it to his compadres that you know of, or your family, like
Oh yeah, yeah,
all your accolades? And
yeah. So he's very close with his brothers and his sisters. He originally had 14. I think they're down to 12 now. But yeah, they have a group chat where like they'll like send everything. So yeah, like he'll send me. He's like, oh, mira que hijo tu tío or whatever. And but yeah, he's very proud. Like he definitely shares in my victory. So
nice, nice.
yeah,
Yeah, because I'll hear it secondhand from my mom. Like I barbecue a lot too. Like I smoke. I've got a pellet smoker, which makes everything easier, right? But
right.
I know how to use a traditional smoker. It is what it is. I do know how to use it. But I'll make ribs or I'll make brisket. I'll make whatever I make, right? And I'll purposely ask my dad, "Hey, le gustó? Estaba bueno?" You know. But then my mom will tell me, "Oh no, she called so and so, our cousins in California. She's like, she called your tios or your tios in California. He was telling them how good the brisket was or whatever. You know, it's so I heard from my mom, not from him. But
yeah, no, they for sure. You know, and I mean, we're dads too now. You know, and it's we have a certain way of showing love. You know, and yeah, I mean, I think over the ages and as we advance, sort of like as a I guess as a civilization or whatever, like things get a little bit different, you know. So it's different the way you're gonna show love in 10 years, you know, than you do now. So, but yeah, no, you could tell when you know your dad loves you, you know. Or
oh, for sure. No, we all know he does. My brothers and I, we all know he does.
Yeah.
The grandkids got the better end of it, and the great grandkid now too. But we know my dad loves us for sure.
Yeah.
My mom for sure tells us. But you did mention both your parents cooked también, ¿verdad?
Yeah, no, my mom was a great cook too, and actually one of the last conversations I ever had with her was about cooking too. Like, she was in the hospital for the last few months, and I was just she would see me on my phone and stuff, and you know just I had a business back then or whatever, but still she was like, well, what's going on or what? Me dijo, te voy a por ahí, whatever. Like, oh, I'm just trying to come up with this recipe for, like, she's like, well, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, pues fish. And she was like, pues mira, ¿qué quieres hacer esto? I was like, mira, we were talking about, like, fried fish. Mira, le pones esto y fíjate que esté bien esto and, like, all this stuff. And it was, like, that's kind of, like, one of the things that stuck to me, you know. It was, like even, like, in the last, you know, few days that I had with her, like, we talked about food, you know. So, yeah, no, she was a great chef and she had a very good seasoning. And yeah, she definitely taught me a lot about cooking. Where like me and my dad like cooked together. My mom kind of like showed me how to cook, you know. So yeah, no, she was a great cook.
And your dad was a chef for Maquiladora in Juarez.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that was like his longest job, but before that he was at a bakery. And then before that, he was like his first job ever was at a burger shop. So, yeah.
And what's your dad's specialty dish?
That's interesting. Honestly,
anything he touches.
Yeah, I guess, but no, like for sure, like asado, like he knows how to make like really good asado.
Right.
But he'll cook anything, and something that we do like pretty often is like we do carne asadas. So like. And I say kind of asada just like to put it like in simple terms, but it's just like a barbecue, and it's just most of the time it's just me and him, and we just get like whatever, like throw it on the grill, you know, like as long as you turn on the grill, you know, it's a good time, and it just kind of like that's kind of like our time to catch up of the week events or whatever. That's our bonding, you know. Sorry.
Very good.
And so yeah, that's definitely like kind of like something that me and him like for sure like that's our signature, you know, go to like a carne asada.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah, I think my mom's a great cook too, but she'll say she isn't. But I mean, we all grow up with our mom's cooking. I think her tortillas are the best.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't make menudo often, but whenever she does, it's great for sure, you know. And her asados, her chile colorado, it's all good, bro. But she says she's not a good cook, but she is, man. And her mole too. I know for my brother, whenever his birthday comes around, his birthday dish is mole. It's always delicious. I love red enchiladas for my birthday, montadas, bro. So her enchiladas are the best too. Going back to restaurants though, That is one of the things where if I go to a Mexican restaurant and they can't get the beans and rice right,
Oh yeah.
I won't go back, bro.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I know, and because it's almost like a second thought, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, well, we got this recipe from our grandma and we know how to make good asado, but then the rice, well, I don't know, just Maria make me some rice or whatever, and it's like sometimes Maria makes it, sometimes like this guy makes it, and sometimes this guy makes it, and yeah, unfortunately it misses a mark most of the time, but yeah, when they got it good, they got it good. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't tell you like a good place where like I know the rice is good there all the time.
I used to work at the rock quarry, Cemex. It used to be Job and then Cemex right there at McCalligan Canyon.
Yeah.
I worked there for a long time, bro. We used to have these girls that came over only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, sometimes on Saturdays to sell lunch plates, and they were affordable, bro. You'd be paying $5 or $6.
Oh wow.
I think whenever they did menudo on the weekends,
yeah,
it was like $7 or $8. But their rice, bro, like I miss that rice. It was just a white rice with a canned corn in it.
Oh yeah.
But it was peppered correctly. It was salted perfectly. It was just the best rice I've ever had too, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and like I think now that you mention it, like even when I had charlatan, which was a little bit more Mexican oriented,
Right.
I didn't even do like a Mexican rice there or beans. I did like just because it was the whole thing where we're like trying to merge like Asian and Mexican.
Mm-hmm.
So we do the rice in the Instant Pot, and it was sushi rice, and it was just kind of like sort of like your classic white rice that you have like at a Korean restaurant or a Japanese restaurant, like white steam rice. But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever. I mean, I've done caterings where I do the Mexican rice, but I like to think it's good, but yeah, it's one of those things that it's very easy to judge, you know, like very easy to like be like, you fucked it up, so yeah.
Have you ever been to I got a quick question for you as a chef, man, that you are. Menudo outside of El Paso, where they serve it with tortilla.
I don't bother.
Right,
Dude,
dude. I've asked for the bolillo bread or whatever, and
yeah.
people are like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Actually, like you mentioned Carlsbad not too long ago, but I had menudo at that spot there at the Carlsbad restaurant.
The food truck or which one?
No, the restaurant that's there near the caverns.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can't remember the name, but yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had food there.
Oh no, it's
terrible. I bet.
Yeah, Tex-Mex, but you know, and that's kind of what I hate, that like Tex-Mex sort of got this like, it's like we're gonna go to a restaurant, but it's Tex-Mex. It's like fuck. But then it's like, you know, it shouldn't be like that, you know, because Tex-Mex could be really good.
Yes, if they get it right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, a lot of times it's just kind of like an excuse for mediocre food. It just kind of sucks.
So I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? And most of them are comedians, and like Felipe Esparza, Hispanic, right?
Yeah.
Mexican dude, married to a white lady. They talk shit about Mexican food in Texas. They talk shit about Tex-Mex food. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But it's like they're not going to the right spots, man. Because I've had great Mexican food, even in Kansas City, bro. Yeah, I've had great Mexican food everywhere, but
I heard that.
they're not going to the right places here, man, is what I think.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like one of the good, like where I could say like this is Tex-Mex and it's good, it would be Lucy's.
Yeah,
I like Lucy's, but the one on next to Utah, that one's one of my go-tos, and to me, like that's Tex-Mex done right. So
yeah,
I like that. But yeah, it's kind of like you think Tex-Mex is like Taco Cabana or But yeah.
They all agree that breakfast tacos are the best in Texas, but they talk shit about every other taco, bro. And so I've been working in San Diego for the last almost 3 months, maybe.
Okay.
And I've had good Mexican food out there, but I'm still thinking to myself, it's good, but I've had good in Texas. I've had great in Texas. You know, it's not the best. Like everybody swears it's the best Mexican food out there, but it's hit or miss like everywhere else.
Yeah. Yeah, for tacos, I think to me, number one is El Tiger.
I've never been there.
So that's a food truck that actually, I mean,
it was on your feed, huh?
Yeah. So we're working on. I'm gonna partner up with them, but because we moved it here to Socorro, so we're gonna be at the brewery, which is gonna be open. We're gonna be open Thursday through Sunday. And honestly, like, I don't just say that because I mean, that's one of the reasons why I want to partner up with them, because this guy, which is again we go back, my best friend Jorge, who accompanied me to New York. He opened up that food truck, and the first time that I went there, it was I already know he's seasoning or whatever, but then like I tried those tacos and it was like, dude, this is legit like street tacos, like you know, like you get in Mexico City or whatever, and they're done right, they're simple, they're delicious, you know, and it's like if you guys get a chance to go, you definitely should go, and I mean, yeah, no, it's a great little food truck, but man, like his flavor profile is like something that I envy a lot because I can't replicate it as much as I tried. I can't. I mean, I've used a lot of his recipes, but I can replicate his seasoning, which is very special, and I think it's like, to me it's the best tacos in the border.
Nice.
Like, here or what? And then like after that it's Elemi, which Elemi is fucking amazing. I don't know if you guys have ever been, but Elemi is it's a really good. Obviously, it's a little bit more high end as far as tacos go, but they got it down too. I mean, they make their own tortillas, you know. So I know that's kind of like a cheat code for a lot of people who are like, oh, they make their own tortillas. Doesn't mean they're gonna be good, but these are good. So.
Well, I remember going to with my cousin Melissa and her husband Hector.
Yeah.
Before they had Taco Tote here in El Paso.
Ah.
That's why I loved them in Juarez, because I would go with them to Juarez a couple of times.
Yeah.
Their tortillas de maíz are the shit, bro. They're the best. And even here in El Paso.
Oh yeah, I like Taco Tote here. Yeah.
Taco Tote is
it's
amazing,
expensive,
bro.
But yeah. For some reason, like I walk out of there and I'm like, I just get food for myself and it's like $50 and it's like, what the hell? Like just trying to eat like a couple tacos.
Dude,
but it's good.
Have you tried the quesadillas with the meat? Like, oh man, Taco Tote hits a spot, bro.
Yeah, and I mean now we have like the king in town, which is Don Cuco.
Yeah.
But that's a hit or miss.
Yeah.
For sure.
It depends on the location, man.
Yeah.
It depends on the location. What I don't like about Don Cuco is the carnitas, how finely diced the pork is.
Yeah, you can't tell which is which or whatever.
Oh man, have you been to that? And I'm sure you have. Like the carnitas for me, the go-to is that place by Food City, Tortilleria. Is it Tortilleria Guadalajara? Right here by what used to be Big 8.
Oh yeah.
The carnitas there are the best, I think, in El Paso.
Oh no, they're good.
But also they're tostadas, bro.
Oh yeah.
Like for Mijo's party, I was like one of the first ones in the family where I'd buy that big old 5-pound bag of the tostadas, and everybody'd be asking, "Where'd you get those chips? They're so good."
No, that's a really good spot. The only thing I don't like there is that salsa. Their salsas aren't like not that good. But everything else is pretty good. Like I usually like, because my daughter goes to school at Hilly.
Right.
So when I pick her up from school, like that's one of the spots that we stop for like after school. And it's really good. I usually go and I just get like, give me half a pound of carnitas and half a pound of chicharrón, and then whatever my daughter gets, and that's just what I eat, and it's fucking great.
With the carnitas, I can't stop at the half pound, bro.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's something that my dad knows how to make really well too. Carnitas, he knows his way around the pork. So.
Yeah, I've got my cousins. We all learned from my grandpa too for the holidays. You know, matábamos el marrano. We'd kill the pig.
Oh yeah.
And so we do everything from the chicharrones to the carnitas, everything, bro. And we still do it every so often. Actually, last Christmas they killed a small pig too, and yeah, we all learned from my grandpa, and my cousin Robert le sale chingón todo for sure. My cousin Robert gets down.
So one of my things, when people talk about like, well, where's the best Mexican food in the United States? And, you know, like, obviously us as El Pasoans, we're like, whoa, El Paso, obviously, like, we're right next to the border, whatever. And it's like, well, yeah, but where we go eat? And I'm like, well, at anybody's house. Like, you know? Because to me, that's more than, like...
It's authentic.
It's easier to find somewhere good to eat, like, with somebody's grandma, somebody's tia, somebody's mom, than at any restaurant, because at a restaurant most of the time it's hit or miss depending on the restaurant, whatever. But then you go to somebody's house and it's like the experience, you know, like they treat you like kings or whatever, and to me, like, if that could be replicated in a restaurant, I'd be there every fucking day.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, people like cook very good at home here, carne asadas, whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just, and everybody's got their specialty, you know, and they know how to make things like a certain way. And I've never had a bad experience going to anybody's house, you know, here. So.
Yeah, dude. So I was telling you before we started recording that I work for the railroad, right? And I've traveled a lot. So I've worked Montana, I've worked Iowa, Oregon, Washington, California, all over New Mexico and Texas, Minnesota, and everywhere I go, bro. In most cases, I was the only Hispanic dude on the gang, right? Because we're still railroad gangs, and everybody would. It happens more often than I care to admit, but everywhere I go, Hispanic guy, I'm gonna tell them where the best Mexican food in town is. Dude, more often than not, they're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Like, no, dude, this isn't Mexican food. And I've told these people, on a Sunday, if you see a Mexican restaurant, you see people lined up outside that are Hispanic, that's a spot.
That's a spot.
That's where you got to fucking go, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for sure. Yeah, and I went to San Antonio not too long ago. I hadn't been there in like years, and it's so different, man. It's like El Paso, but they're like afraid of heat. You know, they're afraid of picante.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different, but we went to this really cool spot, and it's like a brunch spot, but it's like a panaderia, and then like it's fucking amazing. It's like you walk in and there's a line out the door. Once you get in, you order it at the counter, and then they bring it to you. But then they have like this lineup of like Mexican bread.
Right.
Oh man, it was fucking amazing.
Yeah, I went spring break of this last year, and I had a dinner with my cousin Felicity and her friend Thomas. I can't remember what side of town it was, but we went to this one place, and they had Villa tacos are the rave right now. Everybody's crazy about Villa tacos, but they had I believe they had a Villa pizza and a Villa burger, and I'm pretty sure I got the burger. It was pretty good.
You're talking about El Remedio?
No, it was another place.
Oh.
It was another place. I won't say where it was at because people are gonna judge, but but no, it was good food, man. We just happened to show up at that place, and we liked it. It was a good restaurant for sure.
Yeah.
And every now and then, so before I showed up, my cousin Felicity sent me an Instagram page with all the happening spots in San Antonio.
Oh yeah.
And I've got to make it back out there, bro, because there's some spots out there that, oh yeah. I think you're not that far from Austin. I've got my go-to spots in Austin. Bro.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's really good ramen in Austin.
Is there?
Yeah, one of my best friends, his name is Chris. This is Güero. This is a white guy,
right.
But he speaks Spanish better than like most of us for sure. He grew up in like Isla de Mujeres.
Right.
But he's in Austin, and he opened up a ramen shop called Ramen del Barrio.
Yeah.
So he makes like this carnita bowl ramen, and like he makes like what else? There was another one, but it's his thing is like it's Mexican ramen, like that's his thing.
Right.
So it was like once I saw that, like I saw like on an article at a magazine sometime. I was like, who the fuck is this white dude thinking he can do Mexican ramen? What the fuck? That's me. And then I'm like, okay, like let's check him out. And then I added him on Instagram. And then he didn't have his own personal, so it was like the restaurant Ramen del Barrio Instagram. And I was like, hey, what's up, man? Like who are you? Like, where'd you come from? And he told me, and then all stuff. And then I went to Austin, and I met him, and like we became like super close friends. And the dude's for real, man. This guy's no joke. And
yeah.
The Michelin stars are about to come out in November for Texas. For only like I think it's only like 4 cities, like San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Austin. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a star. And this guy's out of he's in a food court inside a Asian store. Mm-hmm. And dude, this guy, I used to think like that I would put like a lot of thought into my ramen. This guy is like a fucking scientist. Like, and he does shit like, he does things that nobody does, nobody cares to do. And he for sure, he's earned a lot of accolades. This year he got nominated for Best New Restaurant in the United States for the James Beard. So this guy's for real. Ramen del Barrio, Chris, it's a big shout out because, this guy's no joke, man.
Well, there you go, bro. That's your next North Star. That's gonna be your friendly competition right there.
Yeah.
Surpass him.
Yeah.
And just have that motivate you, man.
Exactly.
He's your buddy. You care about him, but hey, man.
Yeah, I won my star too.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yeah. But I mean we're also looking to we're working on a project in San Antonio as well.
Right.
We're gonna open up a seafood place over there, which is surprisingly seafood over there it's a pretty big market, especially Mexican, sort of like regional seafood. Yeah. So that's gonna be fun too. that one's gonna be. I'm not gonna be there. Like obviously, I can't go live in San Antonio, but I want to be part. I'm gonna be part of it. So.
Oh yeah, man. Collaborate with the recipes and all that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, I think it's like with everything, with the political environment and social media and all that stuff, how they bring cultural appropriation into play with everything, and they better not do that with food. If your homeboy's white and he's doing Mexican food right, by all means, have at it. You know, keep on doing it.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If it tastes right, fuck yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that pisses me off, and you've probably seen them on Facebook or Instagram too, where it'll be a bullshit video where they're fucking lying, but I learned this recipe in fucking Mexico. And they bring out a cake pan or a casserole dish, and they put fucking tater tots on there. They put layers of Velveeta cheese. They put enchilada sauce. They put ground beef on top. Those videos are infuriating, man. Like clearly that's not something they learned in Mexico, but it just pisses me off watching that shit, bro.
Yeah, when somebody sends me that, I just mute them. I don't open their messages anymore. It just because you can tell too. You know, it's they make it to piss people off. You can tell that's their gimmick.
It's clickbait. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I'm like, it does piss me off. Accomplished, so you know, I'm not gonna watch that. Yeah.
It's white people doing crazy white people things, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, no, that's not Mexican, fuckers. My brother, he was working. My brother that you met, Rudy.
Yeah.
He was working overseas for the longest time in Afghanistan. He was a helicopter mechanic, a general contractor for the government, and I can't remember where his buddy was from, but he was from another country, and he shows up to the States to visit, and he tells my brother, dude, I had Mexican food. I fucking hated it. It was disgusting. My brother's like, where'd you go? Well, where'd you think? He went to fucking Taco Bell. You know, my brother's like, no, motherfucker, that's not Mexican food.
Not even close, no.
No, man. I mean, Taco Bell will hit the spot once in a while, but it's
no, that's one of my that'd be one of my guilty pleasures, but I don't go there like more than once a month either. But yeah, no, it's when you crave it, you crave it.
Oh yeah.
Especially that Diablo sauce.
Yeah, the quesadillas hit the spot too, bro.
Oh yeah.
The quesadillas are awesome. The nachos Val Grande, they're pretty good, man. That something about that cheese, man.
Yeah, Yeah, you feel it feeding all your cancer cells.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then you wash it down with that Baja Blast.
Oh yeah, with that Baja Blast, yeah.
And now they got Baja Blast Zero, so all the better.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
I gotta eat my Taco Bell healthy is Baja Zero.
So one question I forgot to ask you about was, what motivates you, bro? What inspires you to keep on getting better with cooking, bro?
I mean, I think we sort of touched on it like as we went on, but to reiterate, my daughter, number one. But then number two is just being a leader for the community, and you know, just kind of like pushing to be like better as a whole. I could have left town. I could have done other stuff. But I'm committed to. I decided like kind of like sort of early on in my career to stick to it. You know, like. Mm-hmm. Maybe it's gonna take longer than my lifetime to like bring El Paso to the ideal place that is in my head, but I'm gonna do it, you know.
Yeah, if you're a godfather in the movement of it all, it's just as good, man.
Yeah. So that's kind of my hopes, you know, to like sometime like maybe when I'm not here anymore, like people will still talk about like Enrique Lozano had like an impact here in El Paso, you know, in the region,
right?
And he helped. In some way shape the landscape, and now we're a food hub, you know. Now we're a destination spot, you know. So that's definitely my goal.
Well, you're getting there, bro. Because if we ever get a Mount Rushmore of local chefs in El Paso, it's gonna be you, Aaron Sanchez. Who else, bro? Because you're doing big things, bro.
So. I couldn't answer that question.
Fucking answer it, bro. No, I won't put you on the spot, bro. Yeah. But it's, I mean, from the outside looking in, from someone that's seen what I've seen on social media, and granted, I don't know everybody. I haven't tasted everybody's food.
Yeah.
So I did taste Nishi ramen. I never made it to Charlatan, which is like it was like right there, right
Yeah.
closer to my parents' house than mine. I regret not making it there, but I did go to Nishi ramen.
Yeah.
So I have had your food, but I don't know everybody out here. Do I care to meet them? Hell yeah, I do. I want to see everything that's out there, bro. But clearly, with the things that you've done, you're on that mountain, bro, for sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
Appreciate
you're
that.
there, bro. I didn't ask you about this, but 2 football questions.
Okay.
You played football for Socorro High School.
Yeah.
Who was the coach at that time?
Mike Farrell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I made it to varsity on my junior year,
Right.
and then in my senior year, I made the all-star team, and I was all-city defensive lineman too. So
Nice.
that was fun. But then once it got time to get serious about a career choice, that's when I jumped into cooking. And
Yeah.
and I mean, since you mentioned, I don't want to cut you off, but since you mentioned football too, it's like, to me, cooking was a lot like football, or is a lot like football. You know, it's very, you have to be intuitive, you have to be fast on your feet. You listen to your coach, to your head chef,
Your
you
game
got
plan.
your players, you have your game plan. You make your preparations, you work out, you make your prep, so it helped me a lot to transfer from football to the kitchen. It was like, it helped, so.
Yeah, it's the word I'm looking for. It's the, I can't think of that word right now, but it's on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah, man.
And what was your second question?
Aaron Jones. So you were his personal chef.
Oh yeah. No, that was kind of, that was another kind of like, I guess, accolade really, cause
Right.
but it's awesome. But yeah, so, well, as you well know, he's from Paso or whatever.
Yeah.
This is where he lived the most of his life or whatever. And there was this one time, it was off season, and I want to say it was like 2018, 2019. He made a post, and it was just like, any good chefs in El Paso? And I was like, I commented, and I was like, yeah, what's up? What do you need? But then back then, my Instagram name was the fucking Ramen King. So
I would have kept it, bro.
yeah. So I was like, I just left it, whatever. And then I woke up the next morning, and he sent me a message, and he was like, so you're the Ramen King, huh? And I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's just the name, but I mean, he's like, okay, I want you to come make ramen for me tomorrow. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, oh damn, okay, yeah, of course, yes sir. And then I went, and yeah, his whole family was there. His dad was still around, and they loved my food and stuff, and they called me back and back again and back again. And we sort of like made this really cool connection, and yeah, I mean, with his whole family really. One of his family members was just I had a whiskey dinner on Tuesday at Benny Frank's, and he was there too. So this family member of his,
Yeah.
and so it was really cool. I made some really good connections there, and
Nice.
I got to meet him. And obviously, I'm not a Packers fan because of him, but I was a Packers fan before.
Oh,
so
okay.
like being a Packers fan and it's a dream come true, honestly.
That was gonna be my bonus question because you played football. Like, who's your team? I was like, I hope he doesn't say Cowboys, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's my second team just because of my family
Right.
that I grew up with. But Packers, I've been a Packers fan since I can remember, honestly.
Okay.
And it's just, to me, it was just because my favorite color is green.
Yeah.
And I was playing Madden one day, and I saw the team Green Bay, and I was like, oh shit. And then like I picked them. Brett Favre throws it fucking 80 yards on the field. And it was just like, oh, okay, fuck yeah. And then I started listening, because you couldn't watch the games back then,
Yeah.
like on TV or whatever.
Yeah.
So it was on radio, and I would listen to the games, and you just hear this game narrations of like
The
Brett
commentary.
Favre. Yeah, the commentary of Brett Favre coming back like from like 20 points and shit, and it was like, it just got me hooked. And
Yeah, bro. He was a comeback king right there.
yeah, the comeback king for sure. And then from there, Aaron Rodgers too was like, he had his golden years. Can't say much about him now. And then now with Love, it's I think it's a fun thing to watch. It's very interesting, and I am one of the owners too. So I got my little certificate of ownership of the Green Bay Packers.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, I'm an Eagles fan, and
Oh, okay.
We'll see what happens this season because it's not looking too good. I mean, on paper they look amazing,
Yeah.
bro, and they're just not.
You know, I haven't heard a lot of. There's one of the teams that like I haven't heard a lot about. Like they're kind of going under the water. But those are the teams to watch out for. I remember when we won the Super Bowl in 2010. We were that team where nobody was like looking at us. All of a sudden we went into the playoffs. We beat the Raiders, and then Steelers at the end.
Well,
no, not the Raiders. Sorry, who was it that we beat? The Giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, we beat the Giants, and then. Yeah.
Well, the Eagles are like at 2-3, I believe, or 3-2, whatever it is. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I think it's 3-2. But it just doesn't look good, bro. Because with everything, all the weapons that they have and everything, they should be kicking ass, and they're not, bro.
Yeah. Well,
But
look at the Cowboys, man.
Shit, bro.
They have all the tools they need.
47-9. Wow,
that's
bro.
Man. That's
wow.
That's super tough to watch. It's like watching the Browns back in the day.
No, bro, but I just hope if because coming into the season they were favored to win the NFC East.
Okay.
They were favored to win and probably make it all the way. But the way things are looking, I just don't see it happening, bro. I hope I'm wrong, but I do think about the year that Eli Manning and the Giants beat Tom Brady. They started off that season 0-4. I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for the same spark with the Eagles, man, because we've got the weapons, we've got everything. The defense looks better when they want to be better, but it's just never know with football, bro.
Yeah.
And then you look at the Commanders now.
Oh yeah.
They're fucking shining, bro.
Oh yeah.
But if you watch the games, something you don't see with every team anymore, because everybody's stoic, everybody's serious. The Commanders are having they're having fun, bro.
Yeah.
You see Jaden Daniels throwing the ball, making completions. He's laughing, he's smiling.
Dancing and shit.
He's having a great time, bro. And I think that's what's helping him win.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a big plus for sure. When there's that chemistry between the team, you know. So, yeah, that's very important. And yeah, no, I mean, I think the Packers they have a tough. I mean, the Vikings are looking great. They already beat the Packers. The Lions, they're not that crazy good this year like last year, but they're a contender. So yeah, no, it's gonna be tough and it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. I mean, the Chiefs are up there too, but I don't think they're gonna make it to the Super Bowl.
Nah, they won't, bro.
Yeah.
And if they do, they won't win. I think I would think in the AFC. I think Lamar Jackson will finally get his shit together.
I don't know. He always starts off hot, man.
He does, and once playoffs come into play, that's when it goes downhill from there. But
he looks great. Great. Yeah, and I'm not hopeful because one of my cousins that's like my brother. He's a Ravens fan.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's always fun to watch the Ravens, and then you see him in the playoffs, and it's like, fuck, what happened? But yeah, I mean that was a deal with the Packers for a while too, with Aaron Rodgers. So now seeing him struggle with the Jets, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like I feel sorry for the guy knowing he was a problem, you know, the whole time. But yeah. But,
well, Jordan Love, bro. So that's the only game last season that I predicted right in the playoffs. I knew they would beat the Cowboys, and everybody was saying the Cowboys were going to beat them.
Oh yeah, I remember.
But I was like, no, dude. Fucking Love was building steam every game up until the playoffs. He was building up something. You saw him shining a little bit more and more each game. I was like,
no, and Aaron Jones won that game.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones won that game for sure. He had like 4 touchdowns or something like that. Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I was like, I thought all these other teams were gonna win, whatever, and all these other teams were gonna lose, but I called it, bro. And everybody was saying the Cowboys are gonna go all the fucking way. Like that ain't gonna fucking happen, not in Jerry's lifetime. But I said the Packers are gonna beat. They had a good stride. The Packers are gonna beat the Cowboys, and I got that one right. So I've got pride in that. So most of my family Cowboys fans.
Oh yeah.
But the Cowboys they're not my favorite anything other than my favorite team to take a shit on. but no, bro, to be honest, I don't talk shit about them. I don't. I only talk shit. So for my group of friends, I'm one of the few, or if not the only Eagles fan that they know.
Yeah.
So anytime the Eagles fuck up, Cowboys fans are always the first ones
to
verbally abuse me, bro. And I only attack when I'm attacked first. Otherwise, I keep my mouth shut, bro.
It's because it's easy to talk shit about the Cowboys.
Yes, bro. It is.
But yeah, I mean that's one of the big things, you know, where it's like there's a lot of like fan bases. Like I would put the Cowboys up there where they're like the most obnoxious.
Right.
Then you got the Steelers, which are they're obnoxious, but then they're like more knowledgeable. where Cowboys fans are like, they just know what the fuck they're talking about.
But they say they say this thing about the Eagles, man. How throwing snowballs at Santa Claus and all the shit talking the Eagles fans do, and burning their own city down when they win the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah,
It's
but they're knowledgeable. Eagles fans are knowledgeable, man. They know, you know, and it's like that's just it's the ones that don't know that kind of like piss me off. Like all the Patriots fans that happened to they were born out of Tom Brady. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about either.
yeah,
There's just no win. But I mean, look at them now. So yeah.
yeah. And then Aaron Jones is with the Vikings now.
Yeah.
He's shining there too.
Yeah, he's been good.
Rivalry team, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, I had a little talk with him this year before the season started, and I was like, dude, I didn't want to mention it, but kind of sucks. But I was like, but I get it. I was like, get your money. He's like, exactly.
Yeah,
like,
man.
get your money, dog.
Yeah,
all
right.
Yeah, no, for sure. I get it. Because it's
Yep.
like, there's no way. I mean, you can talk about like all these like the fans and the appreciation, but if you're getting underpaid, then what's the point, you know?
No, he deserves to get paid, bro, because there's a bunch of other players getting paid that don't deserve it.
Oh yeah.
Or the second they get that paycheck,
Yeah.
they stop performing.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that 915 in the end zone, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
That's legit.
Yeah, man. And he's one of the few, you know, that puts on for the city. So that's awesome.
Dude, everything that he does for the city of El Paso, you know, that's great. Besides him, any other local celebrities or other celebrities in general that you've cooked for?
I mean, I want to say like local celebrities, but I cooked for a lot of rich people in town.
Yeah.
So, yeah, for sure. I mean, I've cooked for like Robert Houdin too, from the news.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I fed a lot of people. When I had a charlatan, I probably fed like half of the political, I guess, the political office in El Paso.
Political pundits.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it was very cool. That was some other thing too that kind of, no, I don't really talk about, but that I'm very proud of is that we were honored by the city of Socorro. Like we get you get like a little flag, and then you go down in the history book or whatever. And then we got it from El Paso, and then we got it for the Congress of the United States too. So that was very cool too. Like, you know, we got those little I guess recognitions under our belt.
And you're about to get the one for San Elisario too with Mija.
Oh yeah, hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, you will, bro, guaranteed.
I know. I'm really like, it's one of those things where like I'm like happily nervous about it, you know. Where it's
Right.
like, and I think that's a good place to start, because that's where, you know, that's how you know you're doing something. You know, if you're not scared,
Yeah.
like of your dreams, and you're not dreaming big enough. So
You have to be scared, because that's what pushes you to get it right.
exactly.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super proud of you, man. Being from
Thank
Socorro,
you.
being from El Paso, you're doing big things, and again, I'm just glad you made it out here, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, it's amazing that you're here, as humble as you are, just talking about your success, bro, and your stories, and we got some good laughs about it. We got some good insight out of it, and dude, it's a great story to tell, man. It's gonna go down in the history books.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you.
It's a big honor to have you here, bro.
I'm happy to be here, man.
So, anything you want to promote, as well as Mija Eatery?
I mean, for now, check us out at Benny Frank's. Up in Zaragoza, my menu 100%, and I stand behind it. I got a great team up there that I don't have to babysit or anything like that. Then also, we got that Thanksgiving giveaway. If you wanna get a ticket, just hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Chef Enrique Lozano Instagram, and I can get you squared away. Then we also got the food truck here in Socorro, El Tiger Taqueria food truck. Amazing tacos, man. Like, you won't regret it, honestly, and it's super affordable. And then be on the lookout for Mija. Mija in San Elisario.
And so I'll be doing. Adrian and I are gonna do that food show coming up too, cool, on the podcast. So we're gonna have to hit up El Tigre, man, El Tiger.
Yeah.
And that'll have to be one of our first spots, I would say.
Oh, that'd be great, man. Yeah.
And your buddy's name is Jorge?
Jorge Monstro is his nickname.
Jorge Monstro. We're going to have to hit him up and maybe even have him here too, bro.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
That'll be badass. Well, Enrique, dude, it was a pleasure, man.
Hey, man.
I'm glad you fucking made it out here.
Appreciate
I think
you.
Adrian's just as happy too, bro.
Yeah.
Love your food, man.
Thank you.
Charatan and Benny Frank's, I could vouch for it, man. They
Yeah,
have
man.
amazing food.
Appreciate it.
Dude, it's been great. Come to the show whenever you want to promote anything or
Thank you.
anytime you want to come back, bro. You've got an open door policy here, so
Right on.
you're badass,
Appreciate
man.
you.
Again, thanks for making it.
Man. Thank you.
This has been the Long Story Longer podcast with Rene Rodriguez and Chef Enrique Lozano. Thanks again for tuning in. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.
Love y'all.